When you think about it, from the soap you use in the shower to the batteries in your TV remote, all these everyday products have a pretty complex sustainability story behind them. But how do investors and companies actually measure all that? How do they know what's real progress? Well, today, we're going to break down the official playbook for the household and personal products industry and see exactly how it's done. Here's our game plan. We'll start with the big picture. What even are sustainability standards? Then we'll zoom right into the specific industry we're talking about today. After that, we'll look at the 4 topics that matter most, see how they're actually measured with real data, and finally, we'll get into why this all makes a huge difference for businesses and for us.
All right, first things first. To have any kind of meaningful conversation about sustainability, everyone needs to be speaking the same language. You can't compare apples and oranges, right? That's exactly where these standards come in.
So the key player you need to know is SASB, which stands for the Sustainability Accounting Standards Board. Their standards are this globally recognized tool that helps companies report on sustainability issues that can actually affect their financial performance. And here's the crucial part. They've now been brought under the IFRS Foundation. Now that might sound a little technical, but it's the same group that sets global accounting rules. This move is a huge deal. It basically elevates sustainability reporting to the same level of importance as a company's financial statements.
But here's the thing, sustainability is not a one-size-fits-all problem. The issues that are super important for a software company are totally different from those for, say, a car manufacturer. And that's why SASB created the Sustainable Industry Classification System, or SICS. The best way to think about it is like a specialized library index, but for sustainability. It organizes the entire economy into 77 distinct industries, and each one gets its own custom-tailored set of standards.
Okay, so let's use that index and find the section we're interested in. We're zooming in on one specific classification, SICS code CG-HP, and that covers the household and personal products industry. And wow, this industry is absolutely massive and global. We're talking about companies with these huge, sprawling manufacturing operations, selling products that end up on shelves literally everywhere, from your local corner store to massive online retailers. Their reach is just enormous.
And just look at how close to home this industry is. It's not some abstract thing. We're talking about cosmetics, laundry detergent, paper towels, batteries, razors. This is the stuff that fills our cupboards and is a part of our daily routines.
So, for an industry that makes so many different things, what are the sustainability issues that really truly matter? The standard is smart about this. It doesn't try to boil the ocean. Instead, it focuses on 4 specific topics that are most likely to present real financial risks and opportunities.
And here they are, the big 4. First up, water management, which makes total sense, right? Water is a key ingredient and you need a ton of it for manufacturing. Second, the health and safety of the products themselves, especially the chemicals they use. Third, and this is a big one, packaging life cycle management. What happens to all those boxes and bottles? And finally, the environmental and social impacts of the palm oil supply chain, which is a common ingredient that's often tied to really serious issues like deforestation.
And the key takeaway is right here in this quote from the standard itself. These 4 topics weren't just picked at random. They were very carefully selected because they represent the areas where sustainability issues can directly hit a company's bottom line. We're talking supply chain disruptions, new regulations, or big shifts in what customers want to buy.
Okay, so we've got our 4 topics. But how do you turn a broad concept like packaging lifecycle management into something you can actually measure and then compare between different companies? This is where the standard gets really, really powerful.
Think about it. One company might say its packaging is eco-friendly, while another calls theirs green. Without a standard, those words are pretty much meaningless for an investor trying to make a smart decision. So how do you fix that?
Well, the standard cuts through the noise by providing very specific metrics that turn these broad ideas into cold, hard data. Companies have to report the total weight of their packaging in metric tons. They have to report the percentage that's made from recycled or renewable materials. And they report the percentage of their packaging that is recyclable, reusable, or compostable. All of a sudden, you have concrete, comparable numbers.
And here's what that data can look like in practice. An investor can now take this chart from company A and put it right next to the same chart for company B and do a direct apples-to-apples comparison. You can instantly see that this hypothetical company has made some good progress. 70% of its packaging is sustainable in some way, but there's still that 30% chunk they've got to work on. It's clear, it's consistent, and it helps you make decisions.
So let's zoom back out. We've got the industry, the key topics, and the specific metrics. But why does this all really matter in the real world?
What's the actual impact here?
Well, the difference is pretty stark. A company using the standard gives investors clear, reliable data, and that builds confidence. It can proactively manage risks like water shortages or new chemical regulations, and it can position itself to win over customers who are demanding more sustainable products. And the company that's not using it, well, it risks being seen as a total black box, always reacting to problems instead of getting ahead of them, and maybe even losing customers to competitors who are being more transparent.
So the key takeaway here is that this isn't just about being good for the planet. It's about good business. These standards give investors data they can actually compare. They help companies manage financial risks, they can even reduce costs, and they drive innovation. And of course, they help build a stronger brand. It all comes down to connecting sustainability performance directly to financial performance.
Ultimately, you have to remember, a standard is just a tool. It organizes information and creates a common language. But the real power comes from what happens next. The big question it leaves us with isn't just for the companies, it's for us. How will we, as investors, as consumers, as citizens, use this new clarity to demand and drive real change in the products that are part of our lives every single day?